Hey guys, what's up? I watched about 30 seconds of this, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the guy that I come across the other day that made a clip about Canada and the World Cup. Because I have been wondering, where's the videos? I think I've seen a clip or two from down in Mexico where people were partying, but I've seen nothing out of Canada except for one little video, and it was talking about the drug addicts, and then it was talking about the streets being dirty and something else. Anyhow, I just wanted to see what the reactions going on in Canada is about.
If you're thinking about moving to London, Ontario, don't move to London, Ontario. A pair of buffoonery thing this, everywhere you go, in your car, construction.
They just arrested a man for carrying a beer, guys, right there on York Street. A Molson Canadian, a 9 to 5 hard-working man enjoying World Cup festivities. How fucked up is this country where you guys allow crackheads over there? They can literally smoke crack and inject drugs that you guys paid for.
Are you crashing out?
And then they arrest a guy with a beer. Like, was it open? Or was he just... I don't know. I mean, because here in America, maybe things are different. I don't know if they're allowed to walk down the street with a beer, but yet you got drug addicts that are completely fine. Yeah, that's strange.
About living in Canada? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We have a variety of clips of people sharing their experiences recently in Canada when it comes to groceries and everything else. With that being said, let's just dive straight into today's topic.
Canada, I hate you. Why are you guys so greedy? Okay, so now you have to pay extra to have a carry-on bag, which is, you know what, whatever. We live in a world where everything costs money. That one I got over. So I was like, whatever, I have a big-ish backpack. I'm only going to Toronto for 4 days. I'm going to use my backpack. I went to go check in this morning. Tell me why I can't do online check-in. I need to go to the gate. Or not the gate, the kiosk, whatever, before security. I have to check in there, so that they can verify how big my bag is, and then charge me the $68 if it's too big. That's insane. Let the gate agents do it like every other airline. Let me get through security in peace. Let me get my boarding pass before I get to the airport like every other airline. It's actually insane. I was fine with the whole, we'll charge you for breathing too much air on the airplane, But this, you impeding on my speedy check-in, now we have an issue. People that are only bringing backpacks on airplanes don't want to wait in lines. God damn it, Air Canada. What the hell?
It feels like since 9/11, traveling in general has just gotten substantially worse at it.
Well, that, and then you got people that will take advantage of it, and they will deliberately show up with a duffel bag sized book bag and say it's just a carry-on, and then it'll get in everyone's way, and it just causes issues. So I totally get it. And if they have a size limit clearly posted, they should allow it online, you would think. And when you get there, it's bigger than what they say, then you get charged. That's what I would think, but I don't run none of this stuff. I've never even been on an airplane.
Feels like it's designed this way to make it as difficult as possible on you, so you reconsider traveling in the future.
I've had it up to here with grocery shopping in Canada, okay? Tell me why I was just at the grocery store and I go to check out and the person is like, oh, none of the cashes are open, so you have to check out your groceries in the machine. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go over, I start scanning my stuff. The machine is glitching 8 million fucking times, so I have to have someone come over every time anyways, instead of having someone who actually works there, is on the payroll, help me check out my groceries. Yeah, I feel like that was a really smart kind of strategy we had a few years ago. Anyways, then after doing all that, I'm sweating buckets because I have 1 million groceries and a sweater on, trying to figure out how this all works. Everything's...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why they're trying to make everything robotic. I get it for the person that owns the company. It's probably a better investment. But at the same time, you take away jobs from millions of people overall, and then those same people that you used to pay hourly to do stuff can no longer buy whatever product it is that you or any of your rich friends are selling. So eventually it's going to get to a point to where it's like, well, most people can't work because y'all made everything robotic. So how are we supposed to buy items? So therefore your company is going to also go down.
Falling all over the place. And then they have the nerve to literally say, oh, 50 cents for a bag. Babe, I just clocked in for a shift. Like, I literally just did labor, and you're going to charge me 50 cents for a bag after all that? No, I'm done. And have the nerve to charge $40 for cheese. Like, y'all are done. I'm done.
$40 for cheese? Oh my god. Well, you're definitely not eating mozzarella or cheddar, but regardless, that's still insane.
If you're thinking about moving to London, Ontario, don't move to London, Ontario. A pair of buffoonery thing.
It sounds like he's
everywhere
Jamaican.
You go in your car, construction. Even the detour has construction. So you go on construction road, you have to take a detour, and that has construction. You have to take the next detour. You can't get from one part.
That is what I heard about the World Cup up there in Canada, is that most of the streets are blocked off, and the streets that aren't blocked off have constructions on those streets, so everything's just a big mess.
To the other part in London without hitting detour and construction. The whole time, the whole summer, it's foolishness, man. Main roads, the construction. Side roads, construction. Every road, them have construction. I don't know what's going on. A pure foolishness, this, man. I don't know who's running.
I know here in North Carolina, there was a stage in time where it seemed like all the main roads seemed to have some kind of construction on them, and it's like, why don't y'all all work on one road, get it done, then go to the next, instead of having, 8 companies, 8 spots, and so many traffic jams? It was so annoying. But nowadays, I really haven't seen hardly any construction where I'm around.
In the city, I don't think there's a city planner. If there is, they don't know how to.
They got too much government and all these things.
Top, man. Don't move to London, Ontario. It's not worth it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people did move to London, Ontario during the pandemic.
I thought Canada was supposed to be like great. I always thought of them as just, like our northern neighbor that had the same values as we did, until Mark Carney got into power and he started talking about how Canada is more EU than it is any other, country. And it's like, but your biggest trading partner, the powerhouse of the world. But see, they're just trying to push this narrative that America bad, their way's great, and then they control everything. And now, supposedly, they've passed bills, and they've got it to where people are going to have to watch the content that they put out up in Canada because it'll be illegal.
And I think a lot of them are leaving now. But yeah, to hear all the construction, it's not even a surprise, man. Again, Canada, it's 2 seasons, right? Winter and construction.
They just arrested a man for carrying a beer, guys, right there on York Street. A Molson Canadian, a 9-to-5, hard-working man enjoying World Cup festivities.
That's what I was going to say. You would think just at least during the World Cup, the laws would be a little lax, especially if you got drug addicts passed out on the street, which in the other video I seen addicts passed out on the street. I'm going to let my dogs out, but I'm going to hit play.
How fucked up is this country where you guys allow crackheads over there? They can literally smoke crack and inject drugs that you guys paid for, and they're not getting arrested. And guys, I was running, doing my morning run. They just arrested a man with a Molson Canadian drinking his beer.
Okay, so he was drinking and it was open, but
you guys
still.
live in a country that protects drug addicts and files. I use my...
See, that sounds like California to me. That's why when I hear people go to New York and California when they visit America, I'm like, you're going to the 2 worst states in the country to get to know anything about America. Yes, they got big buildings and they're high population, but also a lot of things are out of control. Like California is ran, to me, like Canada or like Europe. It really is.
Canadian citizenship just to travel and advantages. I know better. I I live in Ecuador. They don't pay people to do fucking drugs there.
I never really understood that culturally. Like, a lot of countries in the world, as long as you're not causing a scene or anything like that, you can walk around with a beer in your hand. It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
It's really bizarre that Canada has a stigma towards that, but not a stigma against all the homeless people and the people you...
Because they're creating an environment. They're creating this narrative. Now, this is, I guess, my opinion. I call it fact. If a white man does a crime and the moment they find out he's white, they will put this man's address, his social security number, his birth certificate, his ID. I mean, they will release everything on him. But heaven forbid he's one shade darker than white. They will not say a fucking word. And, or if the light hits the person just right and they look somewhat white, they will call him white on purpose. Like, it happened, it was someone, I want to say they shot somebody or they stabbed somebody. And it was, I want to say he was a black American, or maybe he was foreigner. I don't know. Anyway, they said he was white on like CNN. And everyone and their mom knew the guy wasn't white. But they had no issue throwing up this one picture that kind of made him look like he could be white. And they said he was white. But heaven forbid it would have been any other race, color, creed, anything. They would have not said a word. But they have no issue throwing a white person straight on the screen, give you his address, where he works, what time he works, his social security number. It is insane.
Using fentanyl on the streets who are not getting arrested at all. And then yet people who are just having a beer is somehow such an inconvenience that they have to get arrested.
At the
Makes
World
no sense.
Cup?
I used to
I mean, come on.
obviously drink when I was like 19, 20. Sometimes we'd be drinking in parks, me and my friends, and we would always get harassed by the police when we really weren't doing anything crazy. We were just having a can of beer, and then because of that, we would be hassled because they don't want people to be drinking on public property.
What's the age in Canada to drink? Is it younger than it is in America? I know there's some countries, especially in Europe, where you can be like 13, 16, 18, you can drink. And I know here in America it's 21, and most people all have drunk before they're 21. But you can't buy it. But you can get in trouble for drinking it and you're underage if a cop catches you.
You see everything else going on, and it makes you scratch your head and say, do they have their priorities mixed up? I think that...
Unless that guy happened to have some kind of warrant, or if he had something else tied to him and he got stopped because of the beer, and then once they got his name, maybe that's a possibility.
They do.
Guys, I'm starting to really hate living in Canada. Like, I have a hatred living here, and let me tell you why. Okay, first of all,
Well, I'm gonna have to say this. There's a lot of left-leaning Americans right now that would definitely trade spots with you in a heartbeat. And I really wish these people, I'm sure if we could take a vote, most Americans would vote. All the people that want to leave, you're free to get out. And anyone that is not going to sit here and try to either steal benefits or do crime to get by instead of actually like working or trying to produce something, then you're more than welcome to come in. Just because we don't like illegal immigrants does not mean we don't like immigrants. Of course we do. The country's made of immigrants. We all moved here in our past. But it's the illegal part. That's the part where they come in and they just start stealing millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And basically we're supporting their country to stay afloat off of our taxpayers.
weather is horrible. It has been cold.
I would like that.
Like wintertime.
I'm cool with that.
Cold since like this whole time. Since
this whole time. This is one thing I will have to say about the younger generations, the younger kids out there. Y'all cannot tell a story for anything, dude. It's a whole bunch of likes and ums, and it's like, I forget where the story is going, but She said it's been cold since like forever, and it's like you're in Canada. It is cold in Canada, and that's why I would like to go there. I mean, I do like summertime, but only up until about the 80s. You know, back when I was in my 20s, I would hang out there when it's 95, 100 degrees. Nowadays, I'm too old for that. I can't do it. Can't
Whole
run
time
it.
it's been cold and it. Sorry, my apartment building's fire alarm is broken.
Oh,
But it has been cold this whole time, and it only just started to warm up. It's May. It's almost June. I don't live anywhere crazy north. I live in southern Ontario. So,
is it not normally like that? I'm not understanding. Is she born there and lived there her whole life, and this is different? Or is she just now realizing it?
what is happening? Second of all, everything is so expensive. Taxes are so high. And for what? Like, literally for what? Like, people are struggling to live. You have to make, if you're not making like 100K a year.
I've never come close to making 100K a year. The most I ever made was about $45,000 a year. And I had money in the bank. I was chilling. But that's just me. I'm not one of those people that go out and gotta blow all this money. I can't do all that. I could live off of $40,000 a year easy. There were some years I probably only pulled 25, 20. And that was working in restaurants as a cook. But as an electrician, I was making the 45. But yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of women on YouTube usually say they want a man that makes six figures. It's like, just to make 100,000, list one job right now that you can just list making 100,000 starting out. There's not, it don't work like that.
Like, you're suffering. You're suffering.
You got
And
two
even if you are making
guitars
100K
behind
a
you.
year, it's still not enough. It's still like,
Still not
what
enough?
is this? I don't know.
Wow, she makes my brain hurt. I'm sorry. At first, I thought it was just, the story part. But she drugged me down there. It was like, even if you make 100,000, it's still, like, not, like, like, enough. Wow.
I'm from the States. Like,
Oh,
I was
okay,
born
so
in
you're
the
from down
States,
here.
but I mostly grew up in Canada. And I've just seen Canada go
wow.
downhill. There's no hope for the future. There's nothing
Stop
here.
playing with your
It's
hair.
just like, what is this life? I just want to move to America. Honestly, I want to move back to America.
Well, then move back to America. You said you were born in America, right? So you are an American. So why are you in Canada?
I want to be like an LA piece of shit or something. Like, bro, I do not
LA?
want to be here. Get me out of here for real. I've seen so many videos about this and people saying they feel the same way. And like,
I think that's what
What
it is
is,
right
like-
there. I think that she's going off of other people's feelings, partially why she can't really give a reason on why she wants to move out of Canada.
here.
Are you like her as well and you're thinking about one day moving to the States? This is something a lot of people say. And for me, I don't know if that would be my first choice. Maybe it would be Brazil because my wife is there, so it would be an easier transition. But there's a lot of people who feel this way.
Only thing is, I'm assuming if your wife is Brazilian, he knows Spanish. I was going to say there's the language barrier. For me, I know very little Spanish, but I know some. But for me, if I ever moved outside of America, it would have to be somewhere that English is the main language. So that way I can at least communicate and, add to society and not just be a hermit.
Absolutely hate about Canadian culture is that Canadians will take everything on the chin. No offense, Canadians. $2,100 for a one-bedroom apartment? It is what it is. $400 car insurance? What can I do? $500 groceries? These things happen. A
But-
10-year housing wait list. That's just the market.
10 years.
My question is, at what point do Canadians actually get angry? When do we get mad? month they'll raise rent, groceries, insurance, gas, taxes, and we all just shrug and go back to work?
All the politicians in all countries, like America, like Trump has gotten rid of some, but still on both sides of the aisle, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. There's people that are literally just milking the system. That's the only reason they're in office for 40 or 50 years. I don't see how half of these people have ever been voted in. But they are literally just taxing the shit out of people because they don't know you. It ain't affecting them, so they don't care. They don't.
She really isn't that wrong when it comes to that. People in Canada, I don't know if it's just like the natural kind of, we don't like to feel uncomfortable, so we just kind of take things on the chin. I think that's definitely part of being Canadian. I don't know when that happened or why that is the case, but definitely is. If you compare it to like people in the States, very different attitudes.
Oh, and I think Costco needs to implement these things. Every member should have to do a mandatory course on personal space awareness and just how to be polite in
Personal
public. You should
space
need a
awareness?
license to operate a cart that big. There should also be Costco police who go around and charge you if you use your phone in Costco. You get handed a card that makes you wait like another 15 minutes to check out.
Or, better yet, just make places where the phones don't work. That way when you go in, nobody's on their phone. Nobody. Because it just doesn't connect. Because it does get it irritating when you get behind someone that is supposed to be ordering something and they're sitting there on the phone and they're not paying attention to what they need to be doing and they're holding the entire line up. I get it.
I work in an emergency department and I'm more overstimulated in a Costco than I am at work. I know you're thinking, well, why do you have a membership then? Because the bird seed is $20 for a 16-kilogram bag. That's why.
Bird seed.
I just realized I forgot windshield wiper fluid, but I don't care. I'm not going back in there. When I got to Costco, there was hardly anyone here, and I was like, yes, this is a good time to go. By the time I checked out, which was maybe 30, 40, let's be honest, like an hour later, there was like 2 lines going all the way to the back of the store to check out.
Ain't no way it took 1 hour and all them people come in to the back of a Costco. That is insane. You were either in there longer or there was a line. You just didn't think it was a line.
I think I'm just a dark cloud. A dark Costco cloud. But I did get gas for $1.52 today, so worth it, yes. But
how much is the membership?
Anytime I go in. Be honest, do you take Nubbz to go to Costco? I'm also single, don't have kids or a husband to drag around with me in there. And I live in the country and I'm not used to this many people.
Well,
I lived in cities.
What took you an hour?
I don't love people. So coming here is just so much. I also got pre-scanned today in a long line, but then still had to wait in line to get to the register where they checked everything from my receipt to my card. And that actually took longer than if they scanned me all the way through. But I'm just happy to get the F out of here. What rules would you implement if you were a Costco police? And do you take Nubbz when you come here? Be honest, I want to know.
Yeah, so me and my wife still have our Costco memberships here in Calgary.
I think my mom does.
Realize that, yeah, when it comes to personal
or she goes to Sam Club.
And Costco's can get really crowded. And I don't know what it is, but when people shop, like, I don't know if there's an anxiety that they feel, but my goodness, they're just flying through the aisles. And Costco carts are gigantic compared to regular grocery stores. They're huge, and they're meant to be.
See, I didn't get that part earlier when she said you should have to have a license to use the carts. I didn't know, because I don't go in Costco. I don't see the point. My mom does, but she'll go there just for certain things and then have to go to a regular store to get all the rest of her stuff.
Big because it's a place you buy in bulk, right? So your shopping cart, even if you barely put anything in there,
it's
like
cool.
If you think about the size of toilet paper rolls at Costco, that's like half the cart right there, even an oversized cart. So I do agree, and I don't know where this type of mentality comes from. Again, Canadians, they like to take it on the chin, but they'll kind of release their frustrations in other ways. Maybe it's when they're driving their carts around in their local Costco's. I don't know. Leave your thoughts about it down below in the comment section, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Alright, well, I'm about to say the same thing. Let me know what you want me to watch, and I just wanted to check out something from Canada. I thought it had something to do with the World Cup, but it didn't. Anyhow, guys, I will see you guys on the next one.